future. It's about what kind of country we're going to have. Because I did not think, and yes, I was in Seattle in 1999. I was arrested when we went to Iraq. I was a peace war activist when Bush was arrested. Giuliani sent me to jail for 2 days, but I never admitted I was guilty. So I never thought we would be where we are, because as immigrants, we believe in the promise of America. We believe that in America we have institutions that protect our freedom, that protects the right for you to have a different opinion and gives opportunity to folks. But those institutions that we as immigrants believe, and that's what we want to get to America, are falling apart. They're being destroyed by Trump. And Trump is just one person. He is just a representative of corporate power. Of rich people wanting to have control of our government. So this campaign is not about me. It's about my children. I have two boys, they're 9 years old. I told them I was coming here today, and I said, I'm going to a Bernie rally. He goes, oh, Tio Bernie is there? Can we go? Tio Bernie, you see? So they understand, they don't understand why this matters, but they know that is people like us that have to take a stand. So it's not about me, it's about their future. Because when I came to this country, my parents never got papers. And I said Central Americans who suffered the worst part of the war in the 1980s never received papers. And we saw that same anti-immigrant attacking the children, putting them in cages, Central American and Mexican children. When I see that, I was like, that's not my America. That's not my country. And as a woman, when I see those children being separated from their mothers, I just cannot believe that as a society we have come to accept that. No. So for me, my job is to say to my neighbor, that is not okay to separate a child from their mother. Yeah. That is not okay. Right. So when Bernie said, take a look around, and look who is next to you, and look at that person, and see if you are able to say, I am going to fight for you as I'm willing to fight for myself. And that's what we have to say today to each other as neighbors and to each other as citizens of the United States. Am I willing to fight for your America, for your country, same way I'm fighting for my country, for my America? And are you willing to fight for your neighbor? Are you willing to fight for Are you willing to fight for your children and for whoever is standing next to you? And that is a real question that we all have to ask ourselves. This is not just about my comfort. I said I was privileged that I was able to go to college. But I was able to go to college because my parents sacrificed themselves working as undocumented, because a teacher cared enough about me not knowing English and took their time to teach me. I was able to go to college because there were people who helped me. So we need to be the people who help this generation of young kids coming out of high school with no money to go to college, or kids out of college with $100,000 of debt, $200,000 of debt, who cannot get a job. We need to be able to say, I'm going to fight for you, because it's not okay that you're 23 years old and you already owe $150,000 to the banks, and the banks got bailed out, and we cannot get students bailed out. So that's what you have to say. I am willing to fight for the generation of young students who have $200,000 in debt. I am willing to fight for the family, middle-class family, who is being kicked out of their home because they can no longer pay the mortgage. I am willing to fight for the person who Larry was talking about, who's being kicked out of an apartment because they cannot earn enough money to keep their apartment. So are you willing to fight for them? Yeah. Are you willing to fight for each other? Yeah. Because that's all that is going to Hudson County, okay? Hudson County thrives in you not caring about your neighbors. It thrives in you going to work, being tired and going to your place and doing the cycle all over again. And it thrives on you not getting engaged in what's happening in this town. I lived in Union City. I know what that is. Then I moved to New York, and now I live in Hunterdon. So I know that there is a political machine in this town that controls the levels of power. But I'll tell you, the politics of today are not the politics of 20 years ago or 10 years ago. And I see all of you, you look like you are younger, diverse, a lot of women in here. If you go to a Hudson County Democratic Party meeting, I won't see a young person like Hector talking. I will not see somebody, more women engaged. Because because power that has been holding power for too long is all in stale. So now we are the new energy of the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
So we are the new face of the Democratic Party.
Yes.
And my challenge to you, because it's hard to be a progressive Democrat in Hudson County. It is hard to be a progressive Democrat in Jersey City. Because the party doesn't want you to speak at a turn.
Yep.
They're even talking about having close primary elections.
Yep. Right. Yeah.
And that you're sharing, and she's a woman, the first time ever we have a woman chair in Hudson County is talking about having a close convention. And when Bernie and somebody else are tied, because the machine is not going to let us have a vote. So I say, sometimes it doesn't. You have to work outside of that machine, and you have to build the party. You have to build our progressive party, and we build it outside of that machine.
Absolutely.
We built our own machine.
Yes.
We built our own machine of progressives and of volunteers and of women and of immigrants who care about change in Hudson County and care about change in New Jersey. I am a woman. I am an immigrant woman. I have been told, how can you be with Bernie? You are, Bernie is an old man, white man. He doesn't really, he's not he's not progressive enough. He doesn't know how to talk about race. And I always get, when I say I don't know how to talk about race. You know what? I don't get it, you don't know how to talk about race. I get what you do when somebody needs you and you don't see race as the reason for helping them. Okay? He might not know how to talk about it, but he has shown that he knows what to do about it.
Yep.
About injustice.
Yes.
About the unfair system, about the immigration system, about housing, about climate change. So you know what? Learning how to talk about it is very easy. It's knowing what to do about it that is hard. Because sometimes when you have to do something that it is against the status quo, it is a risk. And we have seen Bernie take risks many, many times. So I am a woman. I am supporting Bernie Sanders. I am with Tío Bernie.
Yeah.
Okay, estoy con Tío Bernie.
Estoy con Tío Bernie.
Estoy con Tío Bernie.
Yes, sí.
He knows that in America, an America that doesn't create opportunity for working people, is not the America that we build every day. America is an ideal. It's a dream.
Yep.
It's a dream that we can all have an opportunity. And that dream has been taken away from us. So I'm about getting that dream back. Aren't you with me?
Yeah.
I'm building that dream again.
Yeah.
And I want to build it for my children. And I want to build it by making sure that workers have a right to organize, that workers' minimum wage is 15, but that they can organize a union so they can get paid what they deserve. I'm about public education, and I'm about teachers having a voice in the classroom and not being counted just by test score, but how well they mentor children.
Yes.
And I'm about a government that secures that we are there for each other. And that government that controls corporate greed. So, how are we going to get there? Because it's hard. In New Jersey, we are a machine town, we are a machine politics, but we are winning. Nobody thought we would be tied for second place in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Nobody thought that. And you know what? It's just being us, volunteers, Barry, Larry, myself, and all the OR volunteers, and just keeping all this together. So I cannot be here every day. I'm not getting paid. You know, I'm here because I care about this stuff. So I am counting on you to follow Joel and to follow Marcos, and to every time they call on a phone bank, you show up, and that you call somebody else to make the phone bank. And like Barry says, this is all Iowa, this is all New Hampshire, then it's Nevada. And you might think we're not doing anything, or we don't have anything happening in New Jersey, but we do. We've been having these meetings for months, okay? So I'm so excited you're here because you are just the beginning. You are the seed. And I would like to see gatherings like this in Union City. I would like to see them in North Bergen.
Yes.
I would like to see them in West New York.
That's it.
I would like to see them in Kearney.
Woo.
I would like to see them in Hoboken.
Oh, yeah.
All of you. And you know, all of you can say, I will host a meeting in my house. I will host 10 people and make calls. That's all it needs. We are a living organism. We are the seeds. They say they didn't know that we were seeds, and they tried to shut us down. So we know with seeds, we just grow. We just lay dormant and just grow. So that's what we are. And I just got off the phone with a young person from Rowan College, and he just got into college. He's like, you know, I said I'm in Rowan, but I want to do something. And he said, but I don't want to do it without talking to Bernie people, you know. And I said, well, why do you want to be a Bernie person? He goes, well, you know, I heard his speech, and he says that he says the only way we're going to win this is if you get involved, because it's the same people that have been voting for this forever. It's the same people that control this political machine are the only ones controlling the narrative, are the only ones voting. We will lose. But if a new person, a young person votes, a black person, an immigrant person comes out and votes, we will win. And and I think you're all kid. He says, so when I heard that, I said, I am that new person. So now he wants to organize his entire campus. So you know what? That's the kind of person we're going to win with. With that person who says, no, the same people will not control our future, will not control our dreams, will not control this Democratic Party, because the Democratic Party is us and it's you. So we're counting on all of you, just like that Golden Brown University, to make the call and to help us win New Jersey. And when we're ready, we're going to ask you to sign up and get signatures and go out and knock on doors and get Bernie on the ballot and become a delegate. And we also need you to run for office and challenge the machine.
Hell yeah.
Because you will only win in Hudson County if you bring new voters. You will not win with machine voters. You will win when you get your own voters to vote.
Exactly.
So that's our job.
Exactly.
To get our own people to vote. And I'm counting on all of us to do that. And I'm counting on us. Because it's not about him. It's about
us.
It's not about Bernie. It's about
us.
It's not about what happens just in the White House. It's about what happens in Hudson County in our neighborhood. So it's not about him. It's about
us.
It's about
us.
It's about us.
Us.
Bernie will win. Tio Bernie.
Yeah.